How do you think Seoul is different to other major cities in the world?
I could say, I mean, I've been to New York City and Philadelphia in the US. So in New York and Philadelphia, I mean, the public transportation is like, it's good, you know, but it's so much dirtier. It's like so much dirtier. Like Korean public transportation is very, very, very clean.
It is very clean. Like for a New York subway, is it a noisy place? Because I know like for here, everything's so quiet.
I feel like it was not as quiet as Korea for sure. You can talk on the subway and no one's gonna like side eye you or something.
Sometimes you get the looks and you're like, I'm trying not to talk, but the person next to me keeps trying to talk to me. So you're like,
So actually, I come from the countryside. So I think the place I grew up in is like 1,000 inhabitants. So it's really cows and sheep and things like that. So it's really little compared to Seoul. Seoul is really huge.
Yes.
A lot of buildings and things like that. Well, it's quite nice because you got a lot of park and everything, so you still get nature here. I think it's nice because you also have like traditional places like Hanok village and things like that. But you also get like the modernity with like all these huge buildings.
I think Seoul has something special with, like she said, the mix between modernity and tradition.
What about like the transportation? Do you find it easy to get around?
Yes. Actually, yes, because in my countryside, if you have to go somewhere, you have to take your car. Like you can't take the bus. We don't have subway. So, and when you have subway, they're slower than the one in Seoul. In Seoul, it's very fast and you can go from one point to another very quick. So it's very convenient.
I lived in Paris for like 2.5 years. And it's really like Paris, like the city of Paris is not that big. It's quite small. And like you can, if you're like motivated enough, I think you can like go from north to south in like maybe 2.5 to 3 hours walking.
Yes, that's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's not possible to do in Seoul.
Nope.
So, but I think it's because Paris has like the wall around it. So if you go over the wall, it's no longer Paris. So, and in Paris you don't have that much of huge buildings. They're out of the city.
So everything feels lower?
Yeah, it's low. Yeah, lower. I think it's restricted to 4 floors or 5 floors. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know that.
So I think that's why in Paris it feels like more like traditional. Whereas here you got like a mix. You got like really different area. You can feel like here is the Sinchon area. You got the Gwanghwamun area. It's like little neighborhood of like, and if you go from one to another, you can feel like a different place really.
And about the cities, actually I've used to live in Shanghai in China and in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
Wow.
So I think Seoul looks like an Asian city in a way. Like the 3 of them have the same idea of big buildings and you know the black cables everywhere, like the electric cables everywhere. You can find it in every Asian cities I've went to. So it's kind of funny. But in the same time, it's not exactly the same. I also went to London a few times. So let's say that if London and French cities are historical cities, and Shanghai and Ho Chi Minh City are modern cities in another way, Seoul is in the middle. Like it's really a mix between the 2 of them.
In all the cities you visited, which one's your favorite?
I'm sorry.
Be honest. Okay, that's it. No, I'm just kidding. So which one do you like? Which one do you like the most?
The one I like the most, Ho Chi Minh City.
Seoul. Good.
But Seoul is just after, actually.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've living experience of 8 different kind of city in my life. Yeah. I'm the person who kind of like travel.
That's amazing.
And I think one of the best things is safest. And people are so kind. And third one is people know how to have fun.
What other cities have you lived in?
I was living in Tokyo, so San Francisco, Kuala Lumpur, Baguio, which located in Philippines, also Cebu.
Oh,
Like around.
you're so brave.
It's really expensive. Basically, like you can get a clean, like very small place to live, but it's gonna be pretty expensive, especially in like this central area. But if you're willing to live in kind of like an older building that's maybe at least decently renovated, then you can find things that are a little more affordable, and you can like do more work and fix it up if you want to like make it more comfortable for you.
Yeah, good
I think
point.
it's not impossible to find good housing.
Yeah.
But it is like you have to compromise on some things.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is like the deposit. The deposit is gonna be really high. So
Yes, because here we have a different system for deposits. You pay a lot of money as like your key money, and that stays with the house owner for a year or 2 years, however long your housing contract is. And then at the end, you get that money back. So that money, basically, they'll invest it and then they make interest off of your money. That's how they make money. And so you pay a big deposit and then you pay a monthly rental fee as well. So
yeah.
yeah,
So you've got to be prepared for that.
bring some cash, bring some money. You're probably looking at like between 500 to 5,000 if you want a really nice place, or if you're coming with the family, get $10,000 to $20,000 ready because you can't get a loan. Can you tell us 1 or 2 must-see, must-do things in Seoul?
Archery. No. I would say must-do is like go hiking. And that sounds so weird because I'm not outdoorsy at all. Like I'm not outdoorsy, but coming to Seoul, like there's several like just hills and mountains that you can easily, that are like for beginner hikers that you can climb. It's really good exercise and you can enjoy nature and everything.
What's the best time of year to go hiking?
I think probably fall, like fall after the heat like dies down.
Oh, the heat.
I have allergies, so I would say spring, but it would like kill me in the spring.
Yeah, me too.
There's a lot of fun stuff in Seoul, and I think it depends on what they like. Yeah, for me, like I like bars, so I go Hongdae, museums and galleries.
Have you been to Seoul Fashion Week?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you working?
No, I was
Just going to watch? How was it?
It was
speechless.
Yeah.
Lastly, I wanted you to tell me, what is the best season to visit Seoul?
As my experience of living 1 year in Korea, I think best season to come in Korea is autumn.
Why is that?
Autumn is so beautiful. So beautiful. The trees? Because of trees.
Yes. The colors.
Colors.
Yeah. And fall fashion.
Yeah. Also fashion.
Oh, definitely spring. Spring, it just feels like everything feels new and all of the like winter thaws out and you buy like new springy clothes and stuff.
Shopping!
So yeah, it's just, I think spring is still probably my favorite. And I love how breezy it is. Like it's so like a nice refreshing wind. Just feels like newness.
It's too bad it's such a short season.
Yeah, it's very short though.
That's summer.
Fall is the best one.
Why?
But I've never been here in summer and spring, so I can only like talk about winter and fall. But fall is really pretty.
Yes, actually in fall, if you just went to, I don't know, any park actually, or even we went to Inwonsan the other day and it was beautiful. And you can just see all the colors, like you have purple and brown and red and it's so beautiful. I never saw this kind of colors anywhere. So it's my favorite one. Really, I think if you want to go to Korea, fall is the best for the colors.
Take a note.
And also because it's not that cold.
Yeah, right.
So it's not that hot and it's not that cold. So it's perfect.
The best.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Wait till you experience summer. Are you ready?
I'm so afraid of it. I'm so
You have aircon in your house?
Yeah, we
Yes,
do.
we have.
You'll be fine. It's hot. Well, ladies, thank you so much for coming by today. It was really great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope to see you again soon.
All right. Me too. Bye.
Thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you. Okay, so today we learned all about foreigners living in Seoul, and maybe, just maybe, you guys might want to try it out yourselves. Now, it's freezing today, and my nose is super red. I'm gonna look like a Canada flag soon, so you know what? I'm out of here. I'm gonna go get something hot to drink. See you next time. Bye.